Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in front of us we have what I consider to be one of the most cringe-spammed tier 10s in the game, the German medium, the E50M. We all have had horror stories of dealing with this vehicle. Double tunes of E50Ms YOLOing with reactive armor. What do you do to counter it? The answer is really not much. It's such a cringe vehicle. But today, I have done my due diligence of looking at all the tier 10 mediums and trying to decide what would be the best counter to an E50M. There's a lot of tier 10s, but the one that I picked might actually surprise a lot of you. And it's this, the French tier 10 medium, the Projet Marat. Now, I know that a lot of you are probably like, why? This is literally the lowest DPM tier 10 medium in the game at 2600. It's a sitting duck with no armor once it's shot and exposed. Why is this the tank that I'm picking? Well, there's a couple different reasons. First of all, it does have good gun depression. It's got 9 degrees, and it does have fairly troll turret armor. So, using gun depression, this tank is actually pretty hard to deal with. But more importantly than that is the gun. It's a double shot 370 alpha, which means that you always have the ability to outtrade anything that pokes you as long as you have shells, right? It doesn't matter what medium, what heavy, you're usually going to be able to outtrade it with the level of damage output this vehicle has. But more importantly in all of that is also the fact that it has incredible levels of premium pen, 345 heat, which is the highest penetration for a tier 10 medium in the game. And that is really important, because it allows this tank to much more reliably cut through the turret of something like an E50M, where, yesterday on livestream there were a lot of people that were like, oh, the STB1's a great counter. I was like, yeah, but the problem with the STB is that it's not a scary tank, right? And then some other people were saying, oh, the WZ121, it's got reactive, it's got good alpha damage. And the problem with the 121 is, at least in my opinion, the fact that the vehicle doesn't feature good enough premium pen. It's only like 327 mils of gold with Cali. That's not enough pen to cut through an E50 turret. So this vehicle has the penetration, it has the damage output, and it has good mobility. And I feel like when you combine all of these capabilities into one tank, it actually is really, really good. Also, I love how Wargaming has such bad loading times that I couldn't see through that bush until I was inside of it. That's pretty lame. They have a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, and we actually got a 410 bounce, which is obviously the enemy 4005. Oh, there you go. We have the Type 5 Heavy, which we do get a gold pen into for 318 damage. That's where the premium pen is really nice on this tank. As I said, that 345 heat cuts right through enemy armor. And it is a really, really nice capability that you're not going to find in every tier 10, but this one, it definitely has it. So, oh, that shell was so close, but unfortunately did not hit. Thankfully, we have a second shell, which you do get into the enemy FE2 and 5 B183. So far, we're basically a single shot, but that's fine. I mean, we're not bleeding health, we're doing good, so we're totally chill in the current position we're in. We have the enemy Jagdpanzer, which we get one shell into right there, and we get a second pen into the Yag, and that's where the double shot mechanic does feel really good. We just took a full health Jagdpanzer and brought them down to 1200 HP, and in return, we haven't bled a single hit point. Now, we do have the enemy M48 Patton, which is obviously a big threat, but we're just going to chill right here. We get one shell into the side of that Patton, and... Ooh. I'm just going to chill here. I don't really need to do anything but just wait, because I don't really think that that Patton has much of a counter to me. And there you go. 116 damage high explosive, that player's out of the game. I don't know why they made an aggression like that. That was obviously going to be a terrible play, and guess what? It was a terrible play. Making over aggressions when you don't have team support is never, ever going to work out well. So what we're going to do really briefly is we're going to poke this Jagdpanzer, and we're going to aim it on their lower plate. Aiming. There's a 384, and... not able to get the second pen out, but still, we took another 380 health off that player. Now we just chill in this spot back here. We have gotten that Jagdpanzer basically screwed at this point. There's the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, which is obviously a very dangerous tank. We have the M40, the Jagdpanzer, which my first shell does not like. I'm gonna overpoke a little bit. Dang. It's fine, but I was definitely hoping I could bleed out that player a little bit more. Let's move up. We got 7 seconds left on our reload. Our 907 is definitely in a exposed position, but that's okay. We're doing alright, and the enemy Jagdpanzer just got cleared, which is obviously pretty dang important. Let's see if this M48 decides to poke. There you go, 371. I don't think they're going to poke again. We're doing good. We're up to 2,700 damage so far. The Patton is going to overpoke, which allows me to get a trade that I win. With 370 damage per shot, it means that basically every tier 10 medium, apart from something like a 1-2-1, we win the trade on, which is really nice. It means that you don't really ever have to worry about the trade battle. So there goes that player. That's obviously quite good. We still see the enemy FE2M5 B183 in the side over here, so I'm going to overpoke and aim it on the side of that 183. There's 421, and boom, 356. That's a lot of damage we just took off that player. And now we just chill here, and we wait. I'd love to be able to shoot this Patton, but obviously with lower levels of DPM, I don't really have that ability right now. But I also can't back up because we got some really dangerous tanks on the enemy team. So I finally got my shells, and we got screwed on our first shot. We do have the Type 5 right over here, which... snaps me for 858. I don't even know where the Type 5 hit me. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, the FE2M5 B183 is going to die. Our 113 is pushing the enemy M48 Patton, and the enemy team is pretty low on health at this point. Plus, I think we did over 4,000 damage. I just find it hilarious how Wargaming has created a heavy tank that can roll 850 damage like it's nothing. It's stupid, guys. It's absolutely stupid. I think we've all had our Type 5 heavy horror stories, but it's a cringe tank. And I'm not even sure where he penned me. He must have had the corner of my track wheel. At the end of the day, it's my fault for poking the Type 5. I shouldn't have done it. I got greedy and was hoping that they weren't going to snap the shell or high roll, but they managed to do both, and I guess I was the one that ultimately paid the price. But, as I said, pretty good game either way. 4,130 damage, and we finished top on the team without really breaking much of a sweat. You can see exactly why the Marat actually feels really, really competent. And in this meta right now, where it seems that heavies are not nearly as effective and mediums are played more, this tank's really nice because you're able to catch mediums off guard. Right? Every single medium that you fight, you outtrade. Tank destroyers are actually the biggest problem I've run into with the Marat, because tank destroyers can overmatch certain plates on this vehicle, which cause it to fall apart really quickly. For example, the enemy 183 can completely overmatch, I'm pretty sure, the upper plate on this tank. Doesn't matter what angle I'm at. And that's really annoying, because it means it really doesn't matter if I'm using gun depression, if I'm hiding my lower plate or not, the 183 just hits me and pens. And the Jagdpanzer might be the same way. So it's one of the things that I hate about tank destroyers, is that they do have that 3 calibers rule, and they do kind of ignore your armor. So you always got to be really, really careful about that when driving this vehicle. But again, you do have also the ability to deal a lot of damage, so it's not like you're fully exposed in this tank. So we're going to move all the way over here and keep going. Alright, we're already pretty aggressive. Not sure why this T-22 is making such an aggressive play immediately, but we're just going to aim in. Okay, we're going to bounce the first shot. Let's get the second pen into the T-22. So is this going to be my life here? Am I just going to be YOLO'd? Okay, dude. All right. Well, the Balshotzion is coming to help me, so I'm not too worried, honestly. Good job, I guess, dude. You YOLO'd me and threw your game away so that you could tunnel a Marat. Players like that T-22 are the scum of the Blitz player base, because instead of actually learning how to play the game, instead of actually doing anything productive, they just YOLO you for literally no reason. And now the IS-7's YOLOing in. This is the NA server in a nutshell here, dude. It's cringe. Like, these games are freaking cringe, and they don't even make sense. Oh, there you go. Now we got a random minnow in the back, which, okay. Okay, dude. All right. Hits me there. All right. Well, this has been an enjoyable experience that we've been witnessing so far. Camping minnow, Jagdpanzer, IS-7 YOLOing. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you this, the enemy team's not going to win this game. And I can tell you why, because when you make plays like this, it never works out, right? They've exposed themselves, they've put themselves in the poor spots. We're not doing anything amazing, but, oh well. I can't really poke anything either, so we're just going to wait here for now. There you go, the Yag gets shot, we got to wait 3 more seconds. Let's overpoke, aiming on the side of the Yag. This is where that double shot mechanic feels super nice, because we get 2 shells into the Yag, and then we just back up, right? That's really, really nice. And no other tanks can really do that, you know? You just reload, you wait patiently. We got 5 more seconds. There goes the enemy 183. We're going to aim it on this IS-7, and here we go. There's 1 pen, 280, pretty awful roll. We get a second pen, 367. I don't think we're going to be able to do any more damage this game because, I mean, let's be honest, this game's instantly cooked, but we won. We did a pretty good job. Alright, well, all that's left at this point is the enemy minnow, all the way in the back of the map, and I'm going to aim it on that minnow, and actually we do get a little bit more damage, putting us just shy of 3,000 damage at 2,983. we can definitely see where the Marat might fall apart a little bit. Like, obviously that T-22 medium YOLO'd me, but thankfully my Bosch Ation was a good teammate and helped me out. When people make YOLOs like that, it doesn't really matter what tank you're in. It's just cringe, right? It's absolutely cringe. So I will give this guy a thumbs up. Thank you for helping me, Bat Chat. When players make plays like that, it really just irritates me. Because, as I said, those are the scum of the Blitz player base. They're the people that just instantly YOLO right in the beginning, and they don't care what tank you're in. If I didn't put my Marat there, and let's say the Chatillon had went there instead, or any one of my teammates had gone there, I guarantee that T-22 would have done the exact same thing. Just YOLO'd and shot and shot and shot until they died. And I wasn't necessarily worried about dying. I could have backed up at any moment. I was more worried that they would have had a minnow or, you know, some Jagdpanzer that was going to nuke me if I backed up. So that's what I was a little bit hesitant to back up for there. But it's just so dumb when you run into players like that because, like, why? What did you gain for that play? Like, congratulations, you YOLO'd and you died immediately. So really all you did was prove to your team that you're useless. So what are we going to do this battle? Well, we are going to cross. We got the lion. And I'm just going to keep on going until we get into this spot right here. This is a really, really good early game position. It allows me to chill, and if enemy tanks make an over-aggression like this lion, I can potentially shoot them. Let's see, is that lion going to make an overpoke? Indeed they do, and we get a 350 damage shot. With the double shot mechanic, it's nice because, again, you have 2 shells instead of 1 that you can shoot into the enemy. Also, good job, T-100. Let's just drive into the open, ignoring the fact that they have tank destroyers. Who could have guessed that would not go well for you? I'm going to aim in on the Jagdtiger, and that shell did not go where I wanted it to. Let's try one more shot. But, yeah, my RNG is not necessarily working right now, and neither is our team. This team seems to be pretty bad. I gotta wait a little bit longer, 5 more seconds, and we'll have our shells. And I'm trying to think of what the best play to make is here. Oh, there you go. We get 1 shell into the line, and... ah, dang, dude. What is that RNG? Also, why does our team keep poking these tank destroyers? Like, come on, 752. It's not that hard to read the enemy lineup and see they've been spotted there, like, multiple times, dude. Alright, well, we got the Jagdtiger. I'm going to move all the way over here. We're going to get 1 shell into the line and 2 shells into the line. There you go. Finally, our first double connecting shells. And that took that full health line and basically just took them apart. So we got to wait 5 more seconds. We have the BZ-68 all the way on the flank over here. I'd love to be able to get some damage into that BZ. So let's aim it on their lower plate. There's a 374 and boom, 401. That was like 750 damage we took off that player. Again, you can see this double shot mechanic. It's a really, really enjoyable tank to drive. And if you put it in the right spot, like I have done here, it's very hard to counter this thing. So we have that enemy Jagdtiger in the back, which we're going to aim in on. Actually, we're going to aim it on the 263. And we missed. Dang. I will say, one thing that I don't like about the Lion is the gun can be very derpy. Or not the Lion, the Marat. And you're witnessing that, right? I mean, we have missed multiple shells this game that pretty much shouldn't have missed in my opinion, but it's fine. We're still doing damage. We're still bleeding out the enemy. We have the enemy 263 right here. We get a 365 damage shot and another 350. So yeah, I mean, sometimes the gun trolls you, but in general, it's still a pretty solid gun. We haven't bled a single hit point this game, and all we have to do now is push up to the enemy 263 and Jagdtiger. So we're going to get right to the back of the 263. We're going to aim it on the lower plate. 360 and boom, 355. That player's taken out. Double shot mechanic, dude. It's so nice. I don't know why people, you know, hated this tank so much when it was first released, because I've been having an absolute blast in it. And as always, it seems that this double shot mechanic is still really good, because you just win the trades every single time. The 263, doesn't matter, it has 4k DPM. I shot him with 2 separate clips and probably took upwards of 1400 health off that player. So there you go, 3,579 damage, another pretty solid finish on the team there. And how much did we take off that 263? Yeah, 1,400 there. We took 1,400 off the Lion, 775 off the BZ. It's a great tank, and I do think that this is honestly a really good counter to the E50M. Unironically, we didn't fight a single E50M, so I guess it worked out either way. But I think that a vehicle like this that has the ability to outtrade is definitely going to be the best course that you can go. Autoloaders are always going to be better than single shots. I say this all the time. So in general, the TVP, the Caro, the Progetto, I think these are all going to be great counters to an E50M, because at the end of the day, they can push out more shells. And the Marat, with the 2.4 second intro clip, is the fastest dumping of all. So that's why I consider it to be the best. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.